Welcome. We are going to talk through the 6 stages of a sales funnel. I like to use this framework to help people see gaps that they might be missing or places where they have a real good opportunity to um, target a different group of people or think about their marketing in a different way. And so we'll walk through this here pretty quickly, and then we'll go into each stage in a little bit more detail. This first stage is a stage of strangers. This is people who don't know that you exist or haven't seen or heard of your brand before. And then as people progress further in their relationship with you and your business, they become engaged. They become somebody who's following along. They care what you have to say. They care what's going on. Um, and this stage of the funnel is everyone from a casual observer all the way to, somebody who's a big supporter and loves everything that you're doing. The next phase is people who are interested. These people still haven't made a purchase, but they're starting to demonstrate buying behavior. And then they finally move into the fourth stage, which is they become a first-time customer. They buy something, they give you their first dollar. And then they move on, and if you do a good job, people will become repeat customers. They'll be ready to show up again for a second time. And then finally, they become a VIP. They become one of your top most important customers. These people are great advocates. And for a lot of you who are in here, if you've been in business for a year or more, you maybe don't need to worry a ton about connecting with strangers or getting in front of new people. You might just find, how do you really maximize the relationship with people who have already come through the building or come through the door for the first time, and how can you connect with them? So we're going to go into each of these stages in a little bit more detail. And as you're going through this, just be thinking about who are these people, and for your audience, where do they exist, and how are you doing with connecting with them? I'd imagine that as we go through this, that you will find some opportunities. So the first stage, strangers. These are people who are unaware. They don't know that you exist, and they should. These are the people who should know that you exist. They would care if they knew about you. And the question that they have is a basic one. And the question that strangers have about a brand is this interesting? Does this pique my interest? Am I curious? Would I like to explore more? And that's not a question that people are driving down the street thinking to themselves, but that's just what's going on in their head. If you think about how you buy things or your own purchasing patterns, you're always looking for, does this seem cool? Is this new? Is this for me? As you move through this, they become engaged. These are people who are connecting with your brand. They're curious and exploring. They haven't started displaying any kind of buying behavior yet. And they want to see, is this cool and is this for me? Is this something that I'm not buying it now, but a brand that for whatever reason, maybe they're in my neighborhood, maybe I just love this industry, maybe they are people who I just support and I'm inspired by, but is it for me? So people who are just engaged with your brand. The next stage is people who are interested. These are people who are actually shopping. They're looking to buy the type of thing that you're selling, or they're looking to solve some kind of problem. So these people are doing buying research. They're seeking out specific details about what you have to offer. The question they have is, should I buy this? Or will this solve my problem? Will this make me happy? Will this give me the benefit that I'm looking for? And so you can see the questions at the stranger stage or the engaged stage are much different than the questions that people are asking at the interested stage. And if you think about yourself, or if you think about buying a pair of pants online, it's one thing to think, oh, this denim company is really cool. It's another thing to think, I'm going to go bust out the fabric tape and measure my legs and my inseam, and I'm going to see what other reviews have said about how these fit. And so, people have different questions at different stages of this process. The next stage, so after the interested stage, they become a customer. So somebody has given you their first dollar, their first time customer. So they've bought their very first thing, but the opportunity you have for them is that they're uninitiated in your process. They've never done this before. And you can tell I don't know if any of you have been to a um, Chipotle and you've watched somebody there order from Chipotle for the very first time. It's simple, but it's just they've never done it before. So anytime you've done the first thing, the first time you buy a car, the first time you buy a house, the first time you have to figure out how to pay taxes, the first time you file an LLC, these are all things that you've never done before, and the process, though it is can be clear and outlined easily, you're still uninitiated. And the real question they have is, how will this work? And will this make me happy? As we move into the next stage, we have a repeat customer. And so a repeat customer is someone who's coming back for more. They're going to purchase something again, and they're starting to become loyal. They're starting to think, I really like that first experience. And the question they have is this going to be awesome again? Is there consistency to this? And once you're able to service or provide for or sell to a customer a couple of different times and provide a good experience for them, they are going to turn into a VIP. And this is the top 10% of your customers. And also the most valuable folks to you. They become a brand advocate. They become your voice. They start to wear your logo around. They want to tell other people about you. They forgive your mistakes very easily. If you go in at some point and they have a bad experience or something doesn't come out quite right, they're quick to talk to you about it. They're easy to forgive. They're happy to order again. And their questions that they're asking is, how can I maximize this relationship? How can they make the most of it? With the Wonder Jam, when we think through our top 10% of customers, it's people who are already spending a good amount with us, and they're thinking of, how do I maximize this relationship? How do I get the most out of the Wonder Jam that I can? How does their work make the biggest difference? They're not pinching pennies when they're working with us. They want the best thing. They want to make the biggest impact. So think through that. Who are your best people? And what is that really big impact that they're looking to make? Because they probably would be willing to buy more things or give you more money if you can deliver on that question. So again, let's go through these 6 real quick. We have strangers. We've got people who are engaged. We've got people who are interested. Then they spend their first dollar. Then they become a repeat customer, and now they're a VIP. The beautiful thing about the funnel is that as soon as somebody jumps over the first hurdle, they go from a stranger to somebody who's engaged, they can become an advocate for your brand. We all know people who have said, oh my gosh, you should read this book even though I haven't read it. Or I heard this movie is really good even though they've never watched it. And every step through the funnel that somebody moves further, they will be more likely to tell other people about you. And so it can be overwhelming through all the exercises that we'll go through as we're planning how big of an audience do you need and how do you reach that many people. It can be overwhelming to it can just be overwhelming to try and think through, how do I reach all of these people and how do I move everybody from every stage of the funnel. But the truth is that if we just get a really good strategy and a good tactics for routinely communicating and connecting and doing a good job for people at each stage of this funnel, we are going to have a business that operates and just makes people happy. It just delivers and takes care of them. And they are going to talk about you a lot. And then that's your marketing. That's all you'll need to do. For a lot of people who are inside the membership, you have a very specific product or you have a service. And for those things, you can charge a premium and you can have good margins on top of those things. And so you can build a strong, vibrant, lucrative, fun, meaningful business by just thinking through these 6 things. I've watched a ton of people do it. We do it ourselves. I'm excited to hear from you. So hop into the comments and you tell me, which of these stages do you feel like you have the biggest opportunity to fill in? Which were you neglecting? Which one is confusing? Do you have any questions? I would love for you to jump in there and chat. I'm excited to watch you build out your funnel. Peace.